Let me take this opportunity and welcome you to this video. This video is about leadership. This video is about governance. This video is about management. But this time I want to reflect on VIVHO Governance Framework. We have to envision, and that is why now we have the first V, which talks to visioning. And with visioning, basically, it's about establishing the vision of the organization. It's about revising the existing vision. It's about setting objectives. So visioning is the very first V in the VIVHO Governance Framework. Now, when you are to establish a vision, you need to look at yourselves. You need to evaluate opinions and views of stakeholders, meaning that you need to come together. You sit around a table, then you evaluate options and opinions, and then you agree amongst yourselves, and then you say, this is the direction that we need to take as an organization, and hence this will be our vision. So visioning is about you setting objectives for the organization. It also talks to you asking if the existing objectives are still relevant. Now, the question now is, how do you ensure that the objectives are relevant? From time to time, organizations need to grow, they need to change, they need to also reflect on the outside world so that they are able to adjust accordingly. So in this case, when you review objectives, you will be guided by the vision that you have reviewed or the vision that you have established. But in short, the objectives that you are to establish or to review, you must make sure that they are smart. Smart in the sense that they are specific, in the sense that they are measurable, in the sense that, again, they are achievable within the resources that you have, and also in the sense that they are realistic. And even in this case, you have to reflect on the resources that you have. And also, they can be achieved within a particular time frame. You need to come up with the vision, and then you set objectives that will help you to achieve that particular vision. Again, we need to look at the I of VIVHO Governance Framework. So this I is talking about intelligence. So in this case, what you do at that particular level of governance, or at that particular level of management, or at that particular level of leadership where you are supposed to come up with a plan, you need to look at yourselves as an organization. You need to look at your weaknesses. You need to check your strength. You check within yourself. You say, do we have the capacity to enable this organization to realize its vision? So the capacity in this case, you look at your infrastructure. You look at the intellectual capacity that you have within the organization. Capacity in this case, you also look at the competencies of the people that you have in the organization. You also look at the manpower. You look at the skills that you have. So when you look at all these things, then you are able to say that, yes, we think we have capacity, or yes, we think we have these weaknesses. As you are developing your plans, you also need to look outside the organization. You need to check what is happening outside there. So in this case, you will be checking the threats that might make you not to realize your vision. There might be some legislations that might make you not to realize your vision. Or there could be some environmental factors, or there could be some technological factors. You need to consider that when developing your plans. So the threats are those risks or those things that might make you not to realize your vision as an organization. Again, when you look out there, you might realize that there are certain things that are happening there that you might take advantage of. Say, for example, now they are saying they are rolling out this particular technology. So now you check, if they are rolling out this particular technology, how is this technology going to help you to realize the vision of the organization? You look at that particular technology, you look at yourselves, you say, this is where we are. We've been struggling to get there. But now that the industry out there is releasing this particular technology, let us take advantage of this technology and initiate projects that will help us to realize the vision of this organization. So that is when you are planning. In other words, that is the intelligence. With intelligence, you assess the external environment. You assess the internal environment. Then you come up with plans. For example, when you are developing a strategic plan, you need to go through the process of SWOT analysis. You need to look at the balance scorecard. So when you do that, you are able to assess yourself, and at the same time, you come up with objectives that will address most important aspects of the organization. It is important that when you plan, you also consider the best practices. If you are planning and you want to initiate some projects, just go out and then you establish what other organizations are doing with regard to the very same thing that you want to achieve. When you are planning your projects, you also have to consider the views of other people. What does the industry say about this project? Say, for example, you are in the IT environment. You might go to organizations that are providing IT services. Then you ask them a simple question. We are to initiate this particular project. What are your recommendations? Then you consider the views of the experts, and at the same time, you will find that you are coming up with the best solutions that will help you to address the gaps in your organization. The best solutions that will help you to achieve the objectives that will help you to realize your vision. But that is intelligence. It has something to do with planning. You bring stakeholders on board because remember, they need to own that particular plan. Whatever plan that you are doing, you must do that with relevant stakeholders. Some stakeholders will need to be consulted, some will need to be informed, but some you will definitely have to get approval from them, because at the end of the day, if they don't approve, you will never get budget for it. So that is with regard to planning. Now let us look at this other V. This other V has something to do with value delivery. Value delivery. And let me tell you that the reason why this organization exists is because there are stakeholders who need to benefit from this particular organization. Now, the question now is this organization delivering value? Or what are you to do in order to make sure that this organization continues to deliver value? In other words, whatever you are doing, you must keep the stakeholders in mind. Whatever you do as an organization, you must think about the stakeholders. You must think about the beneficiaries. You must think about those who are to get benefits from whatever you are doing in the organization. Is this organization delivering value to the intended beneficiaries of this organization? So now the question is, if indeed it's delivering value, what we have to consider now is how do we improve whatever we are doing to make customers more happy? So that is very important. Delivering value. Are you delivering value? Are you delivering value? Value, 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 value. Why should customers come to you? Why should customers think of you? Why should customers recommend you? Are you delivering according to their expectations? Are you delivering according to the stakeholders' expectations? Are you giving them what they want? If you are giving them what they want, then it's good. But if you are not, you need to reconsider the way you are doing your business. Always remember that customers are the ones who are making your organization to exist. So every time when you are to initiate the project, just think about the value that this project will bring to the organization. Each time when you are to initiate a project, just think about the beneficiaries who are to benefit in this organization. Some people will say, we are initiating this project so that it can cut cost. Now, that is where now you will hear the board members saying that an excellent project indeed. Some projects will be initiated in order to enhance efficiency with regard to accessing the organization. And that is where now you will hear customers saying that, indeed, this is a great project. We will no longer have to walk to the organization, but we will be able to get the very same service while sitting at home. So now, if you are to initiate such projects, definitely the customers will be happy. You need to ensure that you are delivering value to the intended beneficiaries. What value are you going to give? What value are you giving as an organization to the intended beneficiaries? So value delivery is very important. When you are to buy a particular equipment, the question that you will have to ask yourself is, what value are we going to get out of this expenditure? So you are spending, but with an intention of getting value from the money spent. The board members' interest is on getting value from whatever investment that they are making in the organization. The board members want you to convince them that their cents are indeed making positive difference in the organization. Value delivery is very important. If you are an employee, the question is, what value are you giving to the organization? Or what value is the organization getting from you? So, value delivery. Wherever you are, just think about delivering value to the intended beneficiaries. Just know what your customers want, and then you deliver according to their expectations. If I expect you to deliver 1, 2, 3, and then you deliver something else, for me, it's not quality. Value delivery has something to do with ensuring that you are giving customers the expected quality. So, in short, I am saying value delivery is key. The other key aspect that VIVHO Governance Framework talks to is the H, which talks to the holistic view. We expect leaders to have holistic view of the organizations that they are taking care of. As a manager or as a board member, you need to be able to look at things in a holistic manner. You need to have a holistic view of the organization, for an example. You need to understand the complexity within the organization. You need to understand how different departments are interconnected. And you need also to understand how different processes talk to one another. You need to understand different aspects that have influence to one another. So when you make decisions, you need to reflect on different factors. If you are to make a decision in an organization, you also have to reflect on the capacity of the people that you have in the organization. So looking at things holistically might require you to consider different frameworks or best practices. When you are taking care of an organization, you need to have a helicopter view of whatever is happening in the organization. But at the same time, you also have to understand the things that are happening at ground level. You need to understand, for example, the impact of having this particular resource on the achievement or attainment of the business objectives. You need to reflect on the strategy in relation to the capacity of people that you have in the organization. Having a holistic view of the organization that you are taking care of will show that indeed you are the most appropriate person in running that particular organization. If you are a manager and you don't understand what is happening at ground level, there is a problem. So as a manager, you need to strive by all means to make sure that you understand your employees holistically. Just know their capabilities. Just know the level of skills that they require so that you can be able to capacitate them. Understand their competencies in relation to performing certain tasks. That is when you are a manager. Support them with the resources that they require. So when you are a manager and you are able to connect the dots, you are able to know the impact of performing certain activities, then in that regard, it means you will also be able to come up with decisions that will protect the vision of the organization. So in this position, you also need to understand what the auditors have said. in relation to the attainment of the vision of the organization. That is where now we are talking about the audit findings. You also need to understand the risks of performing or of not performing certain recommendations. Meaning that as a manager, having that holistic view will make you to understand your organization better to an extent that even your management style will be excellent. Remember, as a leader, you have to influence. You have to continue to monitor. You have to continue to make sure that things are happening. But now, the question is, what influences what is important? The question now is, who have impact on what decision matters? Who are the stakeholders who are necessary for you to make this particular decision? Who to involve? Who are the critical stakeholders in making such a decision? So, but the point that I'm trying to bring home is that you need to understand the complexity of your organization or of your department or of your team, the complexity in terms of interconnections of aspects. You need to understand that. So if you understand that, then you will be very much fine. But if you don't, you will struggle. Have holistic view of whatever you are trying to do in the organization. You need to have this big picture view, having a thorough understanding of whatever you are trying to do. So, but in short, there are frameworks and theories that can help you to achieve holistic view. Holistic view of whatever is happening in the organization is very important. Now, the other letter that we have there in VIVHO Governance Framework is O. O. O is there for oversight. O stands for oversight. So it doesn't help if ever you can develop plans and again you fail to have mechanisms to monitor if ever those plans are implemented accordingly. Remember, when you come up with a plan, the idea is that you need to get certain outcome after implementing that particular plan. So you have this plan for this particular house. And then from time to time, you need to check if those who are building that particular house are doing it according to the plan. So if ever there are some deviations or changes, you need to sit down as a team and say, now we need to change this and that because of this particular reason. The same applies in the leadership, or the same applies in an organization. As a manager, you need to ensure that there are mechanisms that will help you to monitor whatever is happening in the organization. One of those mechanisms might be a strategic plan. A strategic plan basically is a plan that is telling you to say, we are here as an organization, and in 5 years' time, we need to be there. So we are here, and this plan is telling us that in order for you to be there, these are the projects that you need to implement. And as you implement these projects, you will be achieving these objectives that will help to realize this particular vision. Now, suppose now the strategic plan has been developed and the board or the council has approved it. But now you realize that nothing is happening. The question is, we have the plan. Why are you not implementing it? So if the plan is not being implemented, then you will remain where you are as an organization because there is nothing happening. So the point that I'm trying to drive home is that as a manager or as management, you need to have mechanisms that will help you to monitor the implementation of the organizational plans. One of the mechanisms that I can talk to is to have internal audit within the organization. Auditors will come and ask you difficult questions. We have this plan, and when we were doing the audit, we realized that you didn't do this, and the timelines were this. Why didn't you achieve this? So as management, you will give your comments, but at the same time, somebody have asked you a difficult question. Why didn't you do this? So it's very important that you need to have structures that will monitor the implementation of the organizational plans. You need to have risk management committee. You need to have auditors, maybe external auditors. So, but these auditors who are coming there as being independent, they will monitor what you are to achieve against what you have achieved. They will also help you to identify things that might make you not to achieve those objectives that you said you want to achieve. So, oversight is very important. As a management, you need to ask your team, why are you not achieving this? From time to time, you need to request reports based on the plans that you have developed. You can have weekly meetings, or you can have monthly meetings, or you can have quarterly meetings. But I know in the IT environment, you find that these big organizations, they have IT strategy committee. And this is the committee of the board. That is in big organizations where they monitor the implementation of the IT strategy. So, but this committee works hand in hand with the IT steering committee in other organizations. You see, the IT strategy committee is the committee of the board. But now, the IT steering committee is the committee of the executive management because it's chaired by the executive management. And with the IT strategy committee is chaired by a member of the board. I'm just giving these examples because I'm coming from the IT background. But as an organization, you need to be able to monitor the performance of the organization. There should be structures that come to you and ask you questions. Why are you not achieving this as an organization? The VC or the CEO of the organization is the one who also monitors whatever is happening in the organization through his or her structures. The director in the department also monitors the activities of his department. And there might be times where he can also set up some committees that will help him to monitor whatever activities that are happening in the department. But monitoring is important. Why are we here? Why are we not moving? Or what made us to be here is very important. Oversight is very important. Providing oversight, monitoring and evaluation. So now what happens? You monitor, you evaluate, you monitor, you evaluate, you provide direction. But in short, I just thought I need to talk to you regarding the VIVHO Governance Framework. The VIVHO Governance Framework talks to visioning, intelligence, value delivery, holistic view or approach, and then providing oversight. So that is the VIVHO Governance Framework. Let me take this opportunity and thank you for giving yourself time to watch this video. Thank you very much. I thank you. Doribu. Nda.